The Hustleshare podcast is brought to you by Payoneer, a digital payment platform that provides online money transfer with its fast, flexible, secure, and low-cost solutions. Businesses across the world can pay and get paid globally. Visit Payoneer.com now. Also by Chatbot PH. Save time and effort for your business. Automate how your team does customer service, marketing, and key redundant processes, all by using a chatbot. Invest in your own chatbot now and use AI to run your business. Go to www.chatbot.ph.
It's just I had a lot of failures. But the thing is I've never been afraid to fail. It's just more on try lang, and see what works.
Welcome to Hustleshare, the podcast that features the daily grinds of unique hustlers around the world to show not our differences, but that our hustles are very much alike. Now here's your host, Ronster Bae-pyong.
Welcome to episode 44 of the Hustleshare podcast. My name is Ronster, and I'm your host. And this episode is powered by Payoneer, a digital payment platform that provides online money transfer, empowering businesses around the world to grow globally. But before we begin, I'd like to remind you that there's a lot of NSFW language that we use for this podcast, so make sure there are no kids around when you're listening to this. Because today we're going to be talking about makeup. That's correct, we're talking about makeup. And we're going to be talking to the founders of Ellana Cosmetics, and for the first time ever, we're also going to be talking to a couple simultaneously in the podcast, and they're Diego and Theresa Buenaflor of Ellana Cosmetics. And this is going to be one of those episodes that you really need to take notes on, because they are going to share with us a ton of learnings, like how Theresa started out her hustle by doing makeup for other brands of MLM companies, and how she was able to craft Ellana back in the day, especially when e-commerce wasn't as big as it is yet. They will also share how Diego got involved and how they were able to overcome the early mistakes that they did as a locally produced cosmetics brand. They will also share how they were able to turn the corner and make that big leap to make Ellana a popular makeup brand here in the Philippines. And get ready to take down notes, because they will share a ton of learnings that you should be taking note of, like their strategies in e-commerce, manufacturing, and key processes and habits that you can also apply in your own hustle. And lastly, they will also share how Filipinos can help locally made brands scale their business to the next level. So if you're ready to learn the hustle behind Ellana Cosmetics, let's begin this episode right now. Welcome to the latest episode of the Hustleshare podcast. For the first time ever, I'm going to have more than one guest in this show, and I'm so excited because these guys are a power couple, right? And again, shout out to to DM Barun
Thank you, DM.
For getting this done. And I'd like to welcome in the show Miss Theresa Buenaflor and Diego Buenaflor of Ellana Cosmetics.
Beautiful day, Ronster.
Thank you for having me. I love your office here.
A beautiful day.
I love it because you have a cat, right? And you have you mentioned you just don't have one cat, you have multiple cats.
Yeah, we have multiple cats, and now we have one in the office, and we're sending more in the next few days.
On the way.
There you go. So, real quick, again, everybody knows Ellana. Again,
really?
I know that everybody knows because my girlfriend tells me, and whenever it's fact already. Like, and from a point of view of that, right? There's not too many Filipino-made cosmetics that really stand out.
Correct.
Right? And that's what's beautiful. But before I get too carried away, guys, what's your hustle?
What's our hustle? Ellana Mineral Cosmetics was a brand founded by my wife, Theresa.
Here!
And she formulates all our products, and she started this back 12 years ago. Almost 12 years ago.
Wow.
But she's been doing this even longer with other brands and for other people. And so we are a Philippine cosmetics company.
Right.
And we are omni-channel, so we have an e-commerce website.
Yes.
That's the number one single brand beauty cosmetics e-commerce website in the
Cosmetics.
Philippines.
Right. I've seen again prior to us recording. Diego was showing me around like holy. I was just. Oh, by the way, we can cuss here. So
Okay,
I was like, holy
fine.
shit! What? Wow! Like this is blowing. And then this is a castle that you guys have here, literally with the block.
We love our walls.
We love
Yes, it is, and cats would love that too.
Yeah,
because they can
yeah,
they do.
scratch. But okay, before we get carried away and do a deep dive in the second part, I always ask this, right? Let's ride the Hustleshare Time Machine. Now it's more than 2 people, so now it's a bigger time machine, guys. We've upgraded our time machine, guys. Per each, I just want to throw that in as a couple too. Let's go back and look at your first hustles. You mentioned Theresa was doing.
I think I'd love. Let's
Yeah.
start with Theresa.
Yeah,
Like,
you started 12 years ago doing this for other people. What does that mean?
Here we go.
15
Okay.
or more years ago.
Actually,
Yeah.
it would be even more actually.
Okay.
It started actually back in college pa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was selling lip balms to my classmates in college, so that's where it started.
Right.
And yeah, I was making money on my own and never really thought about getting a job
Wow.
because I was basically making money for myself ever
Yes.
since. So I don't have that corporate background.
Right,
I never
right.
had that. That's one thing I feel that I've missed in my life.
Right.
But
But so she went straight to
being
to,
an entrepreneur
wow.
ever since.
And just to get a little bit of a context here, how did you start that out? I mean, you took up what was because it's hard.
Different. I took up communications in UST.
No way.
Yeah.
You're a Thamashan?
Of course.
Oh my God, I'm a Thamashan too.
Woo!
St. Raymond's
Go
building,
Tigers.
#1. Wow, that is amazing. And-
AB.
Okay, so AV, I'm commerce. I'm right on top of the
Yep.
same floor, right? And you were selling makeup. What type of makeup were you selling?
We're
back then?
selling mostly basic ones like the lip balm and the lip and cheek tint.
Got it.
That's it. And then moving forward, my suppliers was able to contribute to my development.
Right.
Because they were giving me workshops. They were sending me everywhere.
Right.
So that's where I got my background really.
Got it.
In
But Diego, you mentioned that Theresa was doing this for other people.
And so Theresa later on, so she was starting. Some people found out about her, and up to now, the color cosmetics industry here in the Philippines, the manufacturing is very small compared to any other countries in the world.
Absolutely.
Even so, like 15 years ago, even much more.
Oh my
15
God.
years ago.
I
So
didn't have Google, by the way. I had a directory to look for suppliers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was hard.
Yeah,
Those
Even
were-
now we have Google, it's still hard.
it was extremely hard.
Those
So-
were the Friendster days pa.
Yeah,
As in, no
right.
Facebook yet, even.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That was a very long time
So
ago.
Theresa,
Right.
you were contracted by others to make
Yeah,
products
makeup
for a
them.
multi-level company.
Yeah.
MLM.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah.
Payama.
Yeah.
Good morning.
There you go.
Open-minded ka ba?
Yes.
Yes.
No, so there. And then what I did was moving forward, I started out with little brands, different brands.
Right.
And
Selling them on
selling them mostly online.
online through
Online.
forums.
Forums, PinoyExchange.com.
So yeah, you were selling this, and back then there was no e-commerce. I mean, e-commerce was very
There was
alien.
e-commerce
I
even
mean,
back then. It's just
But it was
How was it?
primitive.
So exchange,
Sulit?
it's
Was it
like
sulit?
wala
We
pa
had-
before pa sulit. So it was
Multiply.
like multiply exchange. Like what's that? The
yes.
Pinoy Exchange.
Pinoy Exchange.
Female network and all that. So you,
Wow.
in forums you post and
Forums.
like. And Multiply was one of the more advanced ones. I even remember her winning an award, and I was her date when we were
There you
studying.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get to hairdo becomes a lab hassle here, right? Okay, but you were selling this on Multiply as what? And
Yeah.
this wasn't Ellana yet.
This
No.
was already Ellana.
Got it.
But before that, you also had other brands before
Other
that.
brands with Multiply, yeah, and exchange and Pinoy Exchange and Female Network, and all of those. We would have it would be very primitive,
Okay.
because there was no checkout online.
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
no checkout online before pa. I mean, before pa.
Yeah.
Right.
Kasi this was the forum. So, it was either a meetup, a
Mm-hmm.
scheduled meetup on one of the MRT
Right.
stations.
There's no COD yet.
There's
Yeah,
no
no
COD,
COD yet.
no
Yep.
COD. And then bank deposits.
Oh, God,
So,
yes.
SMS. This was the time that
calls,
Gcash
SMS,
sikat pa
emails,
before.
and
Yeah,
Ah.
I remember that.
Right.
forum chats.
Yeah, puro bank deposits.
Got it.
Yeah.
Now, in terms of learnings, right? Let's talk about that real quick because it's very common for first-time entrepreneurs to mess up on their first time. It's a pain. But for you guys, how did you now learn from the mistakes that you kind of is it fair to say that you made with doing it while doing it for other brands, and how did you apply when you were starting out to not make the same mistakes that you guys did early?
So for me, I've had many mistakes.
Okay.
I'm a serial entrepreneur.
Okay.
So I've tried put up a number of things and they didn't really work out.
Give me an example, like what?
Wow.
180.
One is, an example is, before supplements were even popular back in 2000, early 2000, I was already bringing them into the country and selling them.
Wow.
And from multivitamins to protein supplements.
Right.
So I would sell that to friends, and it was just deliver a call message, and I would deliver personally.
Got it.
And so that wasn't. I didn't scale it. I think
Got it.
that was the story there. And then from also 180 online cinema, micro
Wow.
cinema. So I was ready. At least I learned a lot from their digital marketing, social media marketing.
Right.
I saw the power of it.
Right. And this was the early days, like 2011, 2012?
This is
Yeah.
2011.
Wow.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The social network came
Yes.
out and everybody wanted to
Yes.
create their own
Right.
social
Yeah,
network.
yeah.
I wanted to as well,
Yep,
but it was
yep.
nightlife. But for you, Teresa, what did you learn in those early things that you did for the other brands that you were able to apply and that worked well for Ellana early on?
What ba? Ang dami. It's just I had a lot of failures.
Okay.
But the thing is, I've never been afraid to fail. It's just more on try lang, and see what works.
Got it.
And more on like, how do you not make the same mistakes again? Alam mo yun? Because it's easy to fail, it's easy to try, it's easy to go forward. But if you have a goal in the end of it, parang it's so much more easier to learn from whatever your obstacles are, and then just moving forward to get to that goal.
Got it.
I agree with that. I think what's important is to expect failures.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to prepare.
be scared.
Yeah, you shouldn't be scared. And to expect it, failures are there.
Oo.
And to be prepared. So meaning your life has to be ready for failures.
Right. But it's easier said than done when you're young, right?
Kasi nga
Yeah.
anong tawag din, kung matatakot ka to move forward, then you will never move forward.
But
Yeah.
when you're young,
Don't be scared.
Did you have the
Yeah.
same mindset though?
More so.
Wow. So really, devil may care. But you mentioned that you guys became a family at a very young age. How did that become a factor, given that you're both entrepreneurs and we know the risk
Actually,
at hand, right?
I was a single mom for 9 years.
Right.
And I met Diego only like, 2008, 2009?
No,
Got it.
What? Sorry.
2011.
Oh,
Got it.
shoot.
Wow. Wait, you better get your dates right. Got it.
Yeah, so 2011, fine. So it feels like forever kasi.
Right.
Okay.
Wow.
Good
But
move.
now you have forever.
Oh my god. So there, 2011. And then we had kids in 2012
Got it.
actually.
Yeah.
So we had our first one. So
Got it.
yeah, we were together.
So that's when I entered Business. So
Wow, okay.
okay. The story is, she was running it, and she would come to me for advice.
Got it.
And after a while, I saw, wow, this is so promising.
Yeah.
She needs help though.
Got it.
And
In your background, she was able to AB USC. Your background was.
I'm liberal arts.
Got it.
But my parents are entrepreneurs. My dad's an entrepreneur and banker.
Got it.
My mom's a full restaurateur.
Wow.
And
Okay.
and I mean, I just grew up, and I keep saying I'm from the line of merchants.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Passed down from
yeah,
generation
by
to generation.
it's in the blood.
Right. Got it.
So and I was always interested in business. I just saw recently a grade 1 thing that I made, and what did I want to be? I wanted to be a businessman.
Got it.
This guy wearing a suit and
Wow.
and a suitcase, holding a suitcase. Back then, that was the idea of a businessman. So
Got it.
that's something I always wanted, and so my mind was ready, always churning that as I was growing up, thinking of how to make money and stuff
Right.
like that. And so I brought the business side to Ellana. Theresa had a passion. She had great products. She
Right.
had amazing drive. She had a passion for it. And so I just saw that, hey, how do we make this into a business? And
I think I was at a point then that I wanted to give everything up.
Wow.
yeah.
Why?
Because it was too much already for me. I'm like,
And there was a big failure too.
Yeah.
It
What
a
was,
big
if you don't mind
investment.
me asking, what happened?
She had focused on a manufacturing facility. Okay, back then it was very hard to find the right manufacturing facility, so she needed to build it herself.
Right.
Investments went on that
FDA.
side, but funds were diverted from the brand, and the brand was carrying the manufacturing facility, so it kind of dragged it down. So
Got
it was just a time of stress for her, and she wanted to give up. But I said that though it's not waste this, it's a gem. Let's move forward. Let's just cleanse ourselves. So the first thing I did, I said, let's shut down a manufacturing facility,
Got
end
it.
all our losses. That's millions down the drain, but
Right.
lessons learned, lessons
Got it.
earned.
And now you're part of it too.
Yeah, now I'm part of it. Now I'm
Yeah.
part of it too.
Now,
Exactly.
but how did you? Okay, I've always been amazed by power couples working together, and it's not easy for people who are very driven and entrepreneurial to coexist. How did you make this dynamic, and were there any friction at first? Like there's overlaps because you were used to being shot caller, doing all of this, and now here comes
still
this guy,
am.
right?
Yeah, sure.
Right. There you go. Okay, I'm referee on this one. But how do you now separate those lines and you don't blur them out, where you actually get to coexist and work well and understand?
First, everything in this world needs to have a struggle.
Yes.
And it's healthy. But you have to you have to understand the
Acknowledge
balance.
the
And
struggle.
so you have to acknowledge the struggle. It's important. So I think one is that we acknowledge it.
Got it.
There has to be that tug, that tug of war, and we have to
Right.
give and take, and there's that. So I think that's one. That's a big part. But we both acknowledge it.
Got it.
I think we also kasi, complement each other's strengths and weaknesses.
What were your strengths and weaknesses?
So, parang, alam mo yun, magkaiba kami ng
Okay.
where I fail the
excels.
most, he excels.
Got it.
Which
So
is-
if you were classmates before, you would like hook him up. If someone's good in math, the other one's in English and whatnot. What's your strengths individually?
For me, it's R&D. I am
Got
focusing on that part.
New product development.
Yep.
Right.
And I
Got
help
this from my
out.
girlfriend. Love you, baby. There you go.
Shout out.
There you go. Yeah.
So, I love R&D. I love making products. I'm very driven
Gosh.
into making
Amazing
stuff.
products, by the way.
Right,
Amazing.
right. I love you too, honey.
She's amazing.
There you
She's
go.
amazing.
Aw, too flirting in front of me. And my girlfriend's not here. But for you, Diego, on your end, what do you think is that X factor that you bring in?
I think it's the open-mindedness and data-driven and analysis.
Got it.
He's the numbers guy.
Yeah, well, I try to
there
put
you go.
everything down to numbers, but
Got it.
but of course, I mean, it's always the instinct. The instinct plays a part, but you try to narrow it down, more focus it down to an area with numbers.
Got it. All right, now let's take a first break, and then when we come back, let's take a deep dive now on how you got Ellana to the beast that it is now. But let's talk about that more after the break. Hey hustlers, let's take a quick break from the episode to talk about a big mistake I did early in my own hustle as a startup founder. And that's going all in on my startup without having any other source of income. Now you might say that's weird because we talk about going all in a lot in this podcast, but allow me to tell you what exactly happened to me early on. Back in my first startup called Party Foul, I resigned from my day job thinking that I'm gonna get funded when I started winning pitching competitions because I thought I was gonna get funded very soon. But the reality is it took me 3 years to get funded and I was very broke during that time. And just because I wanted to go all in, I didn't take any side hustle. And the bad thing was, I was dependent on my startup for my survival while I was trying to grow it. So I ended up getting a lot of bad deals because I was desperate. So in my next startup, which is Chatbot PH, I made sure that I'm not going to make the same mistake. So I got into the art of freelancing. By making enough money on the side to make ends meet, it allowed my startup to flourish and get acquired in just 12 months after I put it up. But that wouldn't happen if I didn't get paid on time. And there's one product that I relied on heavily to get paid easily, and it's Payoneer. Payoneer saved me from a lot of hassle because it's the fastest way to get paid, especially if you're doing freelancing. And the cool thing about it is that it goes straight to your bank account, so you don't have to worry about your money getting stuck in a wallet somewhere. So whether you're a freelancer, e-commerce seller, digital marketer, or any hustler that requires B2B payment, I highly recommend that you use Payoneer to get your money. So register now and go to Payoneer.com or download the Payoneer app on the App Store or Google Play. Alright, let's get back to the show. Welcome back from the break. We're still with a love couple. This is so much fun, I swear. Again, I've told them over the break that's how refreshing it is talking to two people, and now they can actually ask each other because they don't understand how hard it is to come up with questions on the fly, and now someone's actually trying to catch me while I'm thinking of the question. So it's so refreshing. Now, guys, quick question, right? You mentioned that there's strengths, but in terms of division of labor, is there really an org chart, or do you run it like a startup where whatever's, because there's always going to be a fire somewhere?
Oh no, there has to be an org chart.
Yeah.
It's necessary.
There is an org chart.
Oh.
Okay.
But
so we have our places in position.
Got it.
But I always keep things flat.
Got it.
I take anybody's opinion, and let's see if I can use it for the meantime. Is it now or maybe something in the future?
Got it.
But there is an org chart.
Got it.
And anybody's open, or you should see our meetings. With the XCOM meetings, everybody gives their opinion.
Right.
And that's how it goes. It's just how it flows. It's interesting. It's interesting.
Got it.
And see, we
Now,
collaborate.
From that point where both of you guys are there, what were the key milestones you achieved before the tipping point? And talk about that tipping point too. How you went from Ellana just went through the roof. Ellana, my bad. Why do I have my bad?
Okay.
Ellana went through the roof.
And you know what? It was we had a period of studying, mostly staying status quo. I think it was about a total of almost 3 years.
So
we had a lot of branding. We were looking into studies. Yeah,
So
Euromonitor studies.
So when I joined in, I thought I was just going to replicate exactly what it was doing, just making it more efficient or helping scale it. Realized there was a better opportunity.
Wow. Okay.
And so we did more studies.
Okay.
And
a lot of studies.
Mm-hmm.
And we got all this data, and we found an opportunity, started to strategize, and started putting the pieces in place towards that opportunity we found.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened. As we even went to we got a branding agency from New York.
What?
Yeah. But
That's crazy.
they're Koreans
Okay.
that grew up in New York, and a lot of clients of theirs were Korean companies.
Wow.
So they had a lot of practice with cosmetics,
Right,
packaging,
right.
and design and branding. And so we went to that point, and then partnered. We saw ideal partner for us at Match was Watson's or / SM department store.
Got it.
And they were a key player. So we approached them, and they said, "Okay, you're welcome." That's the day we said, when they came in, they said, "We're going to be rolling you out." That's when we said, "Okay, let's put the team together.
Got it.
We need to make this happen." So we started already pumping also marketing and all that.
Nice.
Fortunately, we already had an e-commerce website started by my wife, who coded the very first one back in 2000.
You coded it?
Yes, back in 2007.
No, hindi naman, hindi naman super hardcore coding.
Right.
A lot of help.
Magento.
Oh my God.
But still, Magento is a bitch. I'm sorry.
Ayoko
But
na. I'm a
it's-
Shopify person.
We're Shopify now.
There you go. Perfect. So easy to make it work.
Oh my
but
God.
from that point on, now I have a
So that
question.
e-commerce website. So what was very interesting about that is when everybody would tell you, why build an e-commerce website? Just use Lazada. Shopee wasn't even
There,
there.
okay, and that's-
just
let's
use
talk about
Lazada.
this.
But you know, to us, it was like I saw the trend was going this way.
Got it.
And I was saying, what, we just drop everything and then we're gonna put it back on.
Got it.
Let's utilize it and let's just bear with it for a while and use our own site. And you know what? It turned out to be a strength. It's because cosmetics. It's a checkout page. Lazada is a checkout page.
Yes.
For a brand that's known, it would be great. But for a brand that is trying to
Yeah,
gain
you're gonna be
awareness,
buried there.
you're buried there.
Yeah.
You would need to drive them to a page where they get to learn about the brand first.
Stand out.
Stand out,
Yes.
learn about the brand, learn about the experience, and then you check out from there.
Got it.
Or we're also in Lazada and Shopee and Zalora.
But you're not dependent on that.
We're not dependent on that.
Beauty
and actually, they're
MNL.
and Beauty MNL, but they're all of them combined are 1/5 the revenues we get out of
Wow. Only
on
1/5.
our own e-commerce website.
The rest is direct.
It's direct to our
Oh my
e-commerce. website.
God.
So we have the relationship straight to our consumers.
Got it. But in terms of marketing, though, I mean, again, marketing, especially in the startup community, right? This is hit or miss, right? When you look at experiments and whatnot. Was there also a pivotal point where the YouTube stars started like the Patrick Stars of the world and whatnot? I don't know their local equivalent.
They're key. These influencers,
Yes.
these beauty influencers, are key players in our as you say, to our rise.
Right.
But it's also because of them and because of social media that great products are allowed to float.
Correct.
It's not big money that allows you to float anymore, but
Yeah.
great products can be
Content,
can float,
whatever, right.
content and my wife makes amazing products. I
love
can't
you
say
too, honey.
enough. Can't say
Why are
enough.
you guys are flirting all the time? If you start
Amazing.
making out in front of me, I'd step out. But okay, you talk about amazing products. Now let's credit where credit is due. What's your process like in creating these products, Theresa?
Oh, wow. Well, there's a lot of listening
It's a
to
hot mess.
customers. Thank you.
God, this is the flirtiest episode ever. Right.
So, anyway. No, I look at I really am in touch with a lot of our customers. They just don't know it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one
Wow.
of the major advantages.
Yeah.
So it's because also the beauty is that we are also the R&D.
Yes.
So Theresa, because of our own e-commerce website, we have relationship direct link where a customer is a tap away.
Got it.
We have their contact details. We can reach out. We invite them over, and we
Wow.
sit down with them here.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Or wherever we go somewhere else, or we invite them to the office. We just talk to them and see, and we get a lot of insights through
Right.
that. And Theresa uses that. One of our amazing products that's flying off the shelves. They just introduced 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
This was from Theresa talking to somebody 2 years ago. So I mean, they get shelved. Some ideas get shelved, but they
keep my
pop up.
tabs.
Yeah,
Okay,
she has her
wow.
tabs.
When I need to release something, I go through my notebook and ano nga bang sinabi nitong
Wow.
babaeng to? I think I can still do that.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, this
Well,
can be
yeah.
relevant. And
So
then
sometimes
right
it's just
now,
the timing. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like maybe it's a bit advanced, so she decided
Yeah.
maybe not yet.
Got
But
it.
now is the time. She sees a trend, like, okay, I think we'll go back to that.
Yeah.
And so it's one of the power really of having your own e-commerce website is that you have direct relationships to your customers.
Absolutely.
And you get to know exactly what they want, and and with
yeah.
a great R&D
I
such
asked-
as my wife, she creates
But
them.
in terms of
exquisitely.
inspiration, though, Teresa, what is there? Because my girlfriend does this a lot. Again, I'll plug her a little bit. So she's starting out this whole skincare brand called OIM, right?
Okay.
And majority of the time she's on Instagram. I don't know why she's in there on the majority of the time, but I always see women, all these fashion. She used to be a fashion stylist too, so she's already gifted that way. So the same way you're trying to like give credit to her, and I'd do the same every single time. I don't understand the grind. So can you walk us through, because it's a different type of mindset coming from a numbers guy and from a sales guy like me. How is that for you?
You always have to look outside yourself on what you want to release on the product that you're trying to do. Because in the end, it's all about the people who's gonna be buying it and not about you.
Got it.
That's what's important. No matter how much you want it, but if you think that you're the only one who's gonna buy it, then what is it for?
Got it.
So you
Right.
have to always think about the customer and what do they want, and how would this product fit into their lives,
Wow.
and how would it solve their problems, how would it make them happy, how would it make them beautiful.
So
Right.
it enhance the lives that they didn't know
Yeah.
Got
could be enhanced more.
Okay. Now I have a question, because prior to coming in here, I walk into like, wow, okay, this looks pretty decent. Then I got my mind just got blown away of how big your operations in here. And there's always this question in my back of my mind: how did you finance this? Was this bootstrap? Did you
Okay.
fundraise similar to how startups did that? How did you
Both.
guys scale this to this
So
scale?
both. This in the very beginning,
Okay.
Teresa bootstrapped this.
Wow.
Before
Yeah.
I joined, but at the same time, all the way to the point that she was able to put up a manufacturing facility.
Yeah, that's FDA costs. I'm coming from
exactly.
this is
Correct, exactly.
fucking expensive.
It's a challenge here for especially the barrier to entry is quite high for cosmetics here in the
Yes.
Philippines.
Especially for color cosmetics.
Especially for color cosmetics.
right.
It's not a lot of facilities do it. Color cosmetics. Color cosmetics is makeup, by the way.
Ow. I was like,
Yeah.
what? I got crickets flying in my head. Like, what is color cosmetics?
Color cosmetics
Okay.
is makeup.
Yeah.
So because
Skincare.
cosmetics was a bigger, but there's skincare is under the lotions, the solutions,
Ah.
sunblock and stuff.
Facial care.
Facial care.
Yeah.
And
Got it.
so, but that's quite common. There are a lot of facilities that do that. But when it comes to color cosmetics here in the Philippines, few.
Right.
And the FDA is also quite expensive to put up. I think the number is at least 300,000 before even. At
This
least
is hard.
300,000 just to get. This is not paying FDA, but this is for facilities that you will need. At least
Right,
you won't go
right.
lower than that.
True.
And
Now, for you, how did you muster the funds? I mean, even it's hard.
Teresa, how did you put up the
Yeah,
funds for this?
everything that came out, all the profits just went back to the business.
How did you make
It
ends
was-
meet then?
Yes, it's just a matter of budgeting and living a simple life. You don't
Got
have to
it.
naman
That's a
eh.
secret of an entrepreneur.
No, Charlotte
Exactly.
Tilbury first or whatnot.
Wait lang.
Oh,
hindi
yeah,
naman.
Charlotte Tilbury.
Charlotte Tilbury is charged to the company.
These days, kaya na ng company.
So it's for R&D. What are
Got
you
it,
talking
got
about?
it. So that's what my girlfriend asked me when I go over. She's like, Charlotte Tilbury is charged to the company. Noted with thanks.
Kevin Kwan, hello.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, you know what? We were having I remember this. We were in the school in the cashier,
Right.
and we were having a conversation, me and Diego, and Diego was like,
I was waiting in line, and then of course there's all these other mothers waiting in line. So I just go up to Teresa and Teresa, we don't shop enough. We have to go out there and buy as much foundations as we can. And you see all these mothers looking at me.
I feel you.
They're all in love with you,
feel you.
Diego.
Bro, can I just share two things, right? First one, in college, I lost 3 phones in 1 month.
Wow.
whoa.
Sorry.
I was being an idiot.
Okay.
No, a lot of
Okay,
it is
okay.
myself, right? So, in order to get a phone, I asked my mom, can you give me some money? It's like, no, I don't have any more money. If you want a phone, sell these. She gave me a whole fucking bag of makeup.
Oh.
So when you were telling me like, oh, you were selling shit to your class, I sold shit to my class. Lip shiner, fucking mascara, foundation.
Congratulations. Good job.
Wow.
That's when I
Right,
fucking
right.
realized, like, nope, the hustle is real.
Yeah.
Right? And I was able to buy a decent enough phone. From that point on, I realized I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Amazing.
And then,
And you know how much makeup costs now.
absolutely.
And
it's
people will
money
buy
making.
it.
Last year, I also did it for my girlfriend's birthday.
yeah.
It sort of went viral. Sorry, it was a competitor because she really wanted it to be. It's with the Sunny's thing, the lipstick.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
So I became it went viral because I had to fucking fall in line to get her the 9 variants that she wanted, and that's when I realized how fucking big this industry is.
Huge.
And there's a room to grow.
Correct.
That's what I keep telling people.
It's just
we
growing
need
and
more
growing.
brands.
Yeah, we need more.
Exactly.
We need more
The
brands.
same way for startups, we need more fucking startups,
Yes,
guys.
yes.
Right.
You
Totally
think it's
agree.
crowded? It's not.
No, there's
It's
room
not.
for everybody.
Yeah.
And you don't need to shit on everyone.
No.
Exactly.
Oh,
When you said that they're
definitely.
competition, I don't see them as
No,
competition.
no.
Yeah, we
I
have
think,
different price
market
points.
segments.
So one
We
have
price
different-
points, market segments, and
Yeah.
offering.
Now, going back. Now you have the bootstrap this.
So she
How did you-
bootstrapped it, and it's to take to the next level. Okay. So fortunately, at the same time, my father had been looking for investments.
Wow.
Okay. So he wanted to diversify. He was not satisfied with the margins he was making from this business.
Okay.
And so he asked me and my eldest brother to look for businesses.
Wow.
And we had ideas. We had all this on the table.
Right.
And fortunately, when Teresa kept coming to me for advice, I told my brother,
It's right in front of us.
yeah, it's right in front of us.
Right.
And check this out. I think I'm much more confident with this
Yeah.
than any of that. I mean, this is like, let's take out the part that she's my fiance.
Yeah.
She's still my fiance.
There you
But
go.
I'm telling you, as a business, and my dad loved it. To him, it's like, yes, it's amazing business, got it, and it's within the family.
Got it.
And
So-
then I remember having to make a business plan for
you know
your
what?
dad.
Right.
Teresa made a business plan, and I was so impressed, and I thought she was capable of doing it. Years
Right.
later, I'm like, how did you do it? Getting to really know her, like,
Right.
how did you make that business plan?
Right.
Like, but anyway,
Let's not look back
That's
on
not
that.
like, are you serious? I think someone else did that for you.
No,
No, that was me.
Wow.
Congratulations.
I'm
on that.
able to do numbers naman when I
There you
want
go.
to.
Yeah. So
There you
she
go.
made a business plan. We presented to my dad. He invested a very small amount in the beginning. It
Right.
was again, but when we transitioned and we saw an opportunity, he really put in a lot more money.
Nice.
And
to really
fast track
everything. Got it.
But I think what happened later on was that we started. Okay, our business has a very good return on investment.
Got it.
Uh,
I mean, it would
because of-
be. I mean,
yes.
it wouldn't scale this big if it wasn't.
So we are able to actually even borrow from high interest rates
Got it.
and turn that around to a very profitable business and pay off
And
those
pay it
interest-
off.
Yes.
And this is scary because a lot of people would go through this again because whenever you're struggling, I went through the same thing. Like, I want to get a loan. But a lot of it, that's when people get fucked. It's when you're
Yes,
not
yes,
confident that you
yes.
can pay it back.
But the business was we saw it. I saw it. I saw that normally. So actually, I'd like to also share this with the entrepreneurs.
Right.
Nothing's black and white.
Yeah.
You
There's
have
always a gray area
Gray
somewhere.
area.
Yeah.
Something fits you specifically, just you, and may not work for mostly, almost maybe 99% of them, but it works for this thing that you
Right.
were doing, and it was one of that. That normally when people say, "What, you're getting money from that interest rate?" Yes, for your business it won't work out, but for this, you should
Doesn't
see the
matter,
numbers.
right.
It's able to churn them out and make a massive profit. So we fortunately we've been working on that, but we are raising funds though.
There you go. So
We're
our
raising
investors listening
Yes,
to this
yes.
show. By the way, there are a lot.
There are. We
A lot.
are raising
Yeah.
funds. We are raising funds now. We have. We want to speed it up.
Got
We're
it.
growing about 4 locations every month, retail locations, and we want to grow a lot faster. And so we are raising funds.
Anyway, I'll talk to you offline about something that that might open you up. But before that, let's take a break, and when we go back, let's go pay it forward for our
Okay.
listeners, and let's do that more after the break.
Effective automation is the best way for businesses to stay competitive. And having a chatbot for your business lets you easily automate and optimize sales, marketing, and customer service in the digital age. Chatbot PH will build, train, maintain, and market your chatbot across all messaging platforms. Our team uses the latest AI technologies to enable you to better serve customers 24/7, 365. Set a meeting with us today. Message us now at m.me/chatbotph.
And we're back for the last part. Now it's time to share the hustle with this lovely couple. That was sort of like rhyming, so I'll give credit to myself on that one. But guys, I'm curious to pay it forward. Hustle sharing time, right? In terms of team building, we have always talked about team building in a tech startup point of view. For you, this involves a lot of content. As we speak, I'm in your studio right now and someone's editing something, right? Well, how did you build this team, and what are those things you look for in hiring for people?
Teresa, you go.
It goes to me last. It goes to me last, diba? It goes through all of you guys first.
Okay, how many levels do they have to pass through?
They have to pass through so many levels, hoops and bounds and leaps.
Like a circus.
Yeah.
Okay. But what's that like the recruitment process? Because in tech startups, typically, couple would be maybe 3 times. If we feel that it's a good fit for you guys, what do you look for?
You look for character, mostly.
Character.
That's the most important.
Is there a
one.
specific trait that you look for in a
One is being open-minded.
Got it.
Being
Agile.
Power!
Agile.
MLM's still here.
Yeah, exactly. Open-minded.
Oh, open-minded ka ba?
Power! Oh, let's have coffee.
Coffee.
So being open-minded, what else?
Yeah, because, being trying to recruit mostly corporate people
Got it.
to go to something as like even if we're 12 years old, we still consider ourselves a startup. So even just from jumping from here to there is like miles and miles and miles, because it's different what we're trying to do. That's how I feel. That's what's hard for them to grasp on.
And we are looking for people who we're growing fast and
Got
who
it.
want to grow themselves fast. And it has to be that desire
Kind of
because
mentality.
in this environment you will grow for sure. From the pace we do it and the thinking we put in to make that pace happen, you will grow. But if you don't have that desire to grow, this environment wouldn't fit you.
Got it.
So
when they get through that now, all right, I was like, okay, this has potential. What do they have to go through, and how do you make sure that there's no redundancy and whatnot, and each piece fits?
How redundancy? We can't afford redundancy for now.
Right.
But how each of the pieces fit, it's I don't specifically design every piece of it. My brother, the COO,
Got it.
gives his recommendations and the team, they give the recommendation what the piece person
Everybody
they need to fit.
actually has a call on
Yeah.
it.
Wow.
Everybody has a call on it. It's not just me or Diego or
No.
and everybody has a call on it, and so parang they have, because they're the ones who's gonna be working with each other. So
Right.
they have to kind of, alam mo, we can't just put somebody there and we know that these personalities are gonna clash. So they have to kind of be amenable to each other from the initial
Right.
from the first few meetings pa lang. You'll be
Got it.
able to see it naman.
And spot if they're culture fit or not.
Yeah, culture
Yeah,
fit.
culture
Culture is
fit.
important.
Oo.
Culture of discussions, having discussions and accepting discussions and building on discussions.
Yeah, and
not to
accepting-
take things personally is
Yeah,
very
definitely.
Yes,
important.
my God.
Yeah, especially kapag puro babae yung mga kausap mo.
There's this one time of the month that they go here. I don't know what happens.
Excuse me.
It's Mercury retrograde every month.
No, ano tawag na, we have leaves for that. We
Okay,
have a
okay.
method.
Oh yeah, by the way.
Oh wow, you do.
We have-
So apparently they're
There's
they might-
a regla leave.
Yeah,
apparently,
definitely.
I think they're trying to pitch it. I saw this again. They're reviving that. There's
but-
there's a
Really
bill,
now?
but we've
For
already
us,
doing that
we're
internally.
already implementing it.
So you
But-
there's a leave for menstrual leave
Yeah.
in the.
It's
yeah.
real.
Wow.
It's
Okay,
real,
because
it's real
again,
here.
we don't want.
No, we-
No,
when
no,
it's
I
not
understand.
that-
I'm not
It's
trying to
difficult.
hate
We
here.
understand how difficult it is.
True.
We understand,
Especially with this
It's not. I
minoria.
don't understand, but I try to sympathize.
You can never have enough Midol in the office, guys. That's it.
My
The most common, I mean, kasi our team is comprised of mostly dominant women.
Yup.
Actually,
Girl bosses.
girl bosses. A
Yep.
lot of girl bosses.
Love it.
So, anong tawag doon? It's more on trying to everybody's very professional.
Yeah.
On that level, that we accept each other's criticisms
Right.
and we are very open to each and every one. It's a discussion and constant communication
Sure.
that really works on our team. So it's not just because it's, alam mo yun, what I own this much because that's why I get to decide. I never do that.
Right. You
It's
don't power trip like
this
that.
is a
right?
democracy.
True.
So we base our decisions on data analysis, on statistics and metrics given, that not because we just feel like it.
Yep,
Got it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's how it works for us.
And we
really.
always explain that it's always you just need to explain it.
Got it.
Yep.
Why aren't we seeing it? And that's what I keep sharing, that if you knew it and we did it and we failed, it's your fault. It's not the team who executed it, because
Of
you
course.
knew it and you didn't explain it and you didn't tell why it was not the right move.
Got it.
And when you let something pass knowing that it's wrong, we do this as a team. We do it together, and there's no blame throwing.
Right,
We
no
went
blame
in
game.
together. It's no blame game. But if you knew it already and you didn't speak up for some reason, we'd have to have the discussion.
Got it. Now I'm curious about one thing, because in a tech startup we always have very similar metrics that we look at. Bounce rate, whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah, same.
In a business,
we look at all that.
for you guys, what's the most important metric though that you look at when
Conversion
shit?
rate.
No. It's not.
And what briefly talk about what that gives you as a metric.
Yeah, our number one is new customer.
New customer. How do
New
you measure that?
First time customers.
First time
Got it.
customers. First time customers. We have that on our e-commerce website. We are building to get that info for our retail, which is even larger for our customer base.
acquisition.
Customer
Yeah.
acquisition. So
Got
we are that's
Our
the number
CAC.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Customer acquisition.
I'm very proud of our CAC.
That big black cat.
Customer acquisition cost.
CAC.
Yeah. So we are we're very proud of that. We work on it, and we try to push it. We want to improve on the other parts, on the retention part, but
Right.
the numbers are very good already. As
Okay.
is, because of we just stick to the amazing products
Got
that
it.
my wife creates, and new products she releases gives us good
Absolutely.
customer retention. But there's always room of improvement, but it's not a priority as of now.
Now, in terms of how you kind of do cacking, right? Which, in terms of marketing, you mentioned that there's the influencers are always there. What's the secret in making them do it? Is it just having a really good product, or is this something you guys do to make sure that they actually keep doing it, or is there a secret sauce to that?
Products and
Relationship.
relationship. But I
Relationship is
mean,
very
you can have
important.
amazing relationship, but you don't have something that for them to really talk about, and it's exciting to talk about.
Got it.
It's hard to keep faking that, right?
Yeah.
I think women know that it's hard to keep faking it.
Got There you go. It's too real. There you go.
No,
Okay.
but so anyway, so the amazing products and a relationship.
Just a
Keep
side
the-
note though, I have a question in terms of how do you now break the barrier? You mentioned that there's not enough products, but we can't also discount the fact that Filipinos still also love imported shit. How do you break the barrier of local versus imported and whatnot? Because people still have this I don't know, colonial mentality, whatever you want to fucking call it.
You know, I think this is the time to do it
Okay.
because of e-commerce and because of social media.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say this is the right time. Before, only big companies, conglomerates could do it because they were the ones who could afford the billboards and the television.
True.
And the newspapers, magazines. And but now is the time. I'm telling you, it's been democratized.
Yeah.
You can do it now. So now where I would like to focus, I think I recommend the focus being is that know your customers. These conglomerates won't know them as good as you do.
Yes.
They are too
big.
big to know them. And if you want to capture the Philippine market, we did it. We're doing very well. We're beating a lot of the foreign brands.
Okay.
Yes, we are, and we do it because you have to know your customers and give them what they want, and specifically what the foreign brands cannot do.
Absolutely.
They're serving too many nations, too many countries. It's hard for them to be hyper localized.
Got it.
And know your customers, create that product. Now we have e-commerce and social media to reach out to them.
Got it. Now, Theresa, I have a question. So, let's just give advice to those people who are, say, starting out. They have this FDA versus what do I start first problem, right? I'm pretty sure you had a chicken and egg problem at one point too. What did you do, and what did you choose?
Can we do this offline?
Okay.
No. Just go.
No, but what? Because this is hard and it's expensive, right? FDA versus manufacturing. When resources are scarce, and then there's so much to do.
Toll manufacturing. It's always no.
No, yes.
You have it done by somebody else. You don't have to do it yourself. It's easier
but
to
actually it's hard to do it yourself. It's very hard to do it.
You think
in your
on a small scale kasi you'd think that it's easy to do it yourself. Ay, tao ko naman to and everything. So, anong tawag doon at that part, it actually costs more. So, if you wanna be legal from the get-go, you go with a toll manufacturer who's already licensed, registered, and everything. So it's easier to move. So
distribution is just now and branding and everything else.
Exactly. It's easier to move that way and to help the toll manufacturers because they always need to load up on their capacity.
How do you find the toll manufacturers if you're...
Oh, there are a lot.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Look at the CCIP, the Chamber of
I'm in the board
industry.
of the CCIP. And we have
my girlfriend will be here tomorrow. I will tell you. She needs to pick your brain because
please.
Right. Absolutely. I love you, baby. They keep saying I love you to each other.
Like I said, we'd love to meet her and love to encourage her to do.
Check it out too. OIM Natural. That's what it is. All right, cool. I'll plug her. Anyway, last couple of questions, right? So let's just throw a curveball here, guys. What was your biggest fuck up?
Oh, we have a lot of fuck-ups. We fuck up every day.
Yeah. Well, what was the biggest one? Like the biggest mammoth of them all?
Dami na. Which do you want to discuss? So many.
Right.
No, kasi what? Going into retail stores that has no...
Oh, yeah.
That's one of our...
We went to...
I won't mention the brand.
Okay. But we decided... Hey, let's go into that retail store. Let's do it. Let's put sales.
Anyway, we can drive the traffic naman eh.
Yeah. But you know, it was meager profitability. I mean, it was just maybe break even if ever we were there. But it was a strategy we thought we could do, and it didn't work out. And that's when we realized that we really have to work with the top locators.
Got it.
Sounds because if you alam mo yun, for a small brand to have to drive traffic to your area costs a lot.
Got it.
And anong tawag dun, it would be more helpful if the traffic is already there and you're in the middle of it. It's just that you have to hustle
There you go.
in order to get the locations that you want because it's alam mo yun, every inch counts to be in the front of the
every inch. It's
where you are. It's a battlefield. It's war.
Inches.
It's freaking war
Yep.
in the department store.
Absolutely.
Or
Now-
in the retail, because it's
In the
finite.
mall.
It's a finite
True,
space.
true, absolutely.
Everything's strategized and designed a certain way, so inches towards the most optimized flow and whatever being in
Yeah.
that area. Just it's a big
Yep.
thing. I would just like to share the part that sometimes you it's better to just say no.
Yes.
And go back to the drawing board, do it right. What will it take me to get that ideal spot? Because even the work inching towards it'll all be worthwhile when when it's comes together.
Sounds good.
And sometimes it's that opportunity that you want to just take this opportunity, and it just ends up slowing you down.
Got it.
That I think that's one of the things we learned.
As an entrepreneur, you're gonna have like tons of ideas thrown
tons
to
of
you.
Right.
Let's do this. Let's do that.
Yes, they would be
Let's
amazing. They will make a lot of money, but is it synergistic to really for the big vision? And
Is it? How will it help you in the long run? You don't just look at it in the short term.
Now, in that said, I have a question now. If you're giving advice to younger versions of you, is there any kind of advice you would give yourself, knowing what you know now? That you'd like to say per se.
Okay. Ako, hang in there.
Whoa.
You're eventually gonna get it. Don't worry.
It's worth it,
Little
right?
girl. It's gonna be fine.
I think for me it's just have more confidence.
Got it.
It's a part that you're on the right path. Just don't. I think it's that where it happens. It's more of that extra energy and emotional consumption of the. Sometimes it's a fear or the lack of confidence that
Got
you
it.
have that you're second guessing multiple times.
Got it.
And I think maybe I could have saved some of that energy and lessened my wrinkles.
I don't see no wrinkles. What are you talking about?
I take care of that.
There you go.
So I don't have to be judged by my wife.
There you go. You should. Man.
So anyway, and if just have confidence, have
Got it.
more confidence in yourself.
Okay, now I'll add a few more. I'm very interested here because in terms of making sure that you don't skew the relationship with work, how do you set the boundaries and all? Because it can be.
It does.
It does.
It does.
But how do you make sure it doesn't? Like, we had a bad meeting. I hate you. I'm not gonna cook dinner for you, asshole. Yeah.
First, she doesn't cook dinner,
Oh,
so
no.
that's a good thing. So
How do
you can lessen it.
How do you keep the borders?
So no, it does. I'll say that it does. But it's an active for me. It's being active about that you have to frame your mind. You have to change your thinking that we have to separate it.
Got it.
And it's not instantly, but you progress, and after a
Yep.
while you go.
We
But
have-
for you,
Yeah, and then we had our share of fights,
Squabbles.
and
Right.
discussions.
when she calls it arguments.
Argument.
I keep telling her it's discussions. Discussions.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, there was no any like voice raising or anything. It's an argument already. I'm like,
Got
it's
it.
discussion.
Yeah, and it happens.
Okay.
But the thing is, you still have to communicate and look at the bigger picture kasi, alam mo yun, kasi we're working for everybody.
True.
It's not just for the two of us.
Right.
It's not, whatever we do as a couple affects the entire team.
True.
The entire
You're the
team
heart and
of-
soul.
Yeah,
I don't know which one is the heart and the soul, but you're both that.
affects everything. So we try to look at it at the bigger picture. Parang, how will this decision affect the families and the lives of the 172 employees
True,
that we
my
have?
God, wow.
So, parang when you look at it that way, it becomes bigger than the two of us.
Absolutely.
So, parang what our feelings are not...
194 na, babe.
Oh, wow.
Seryoso.
There you go.
Hindi ko
Your
ata
head
napirmahan
count.
yun.
Your head
It's like
count.
10% a week or something like that.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
Now, last question now. I promise this is the last one.
Okay.
Monetarily, right?
Yeah.
It's hard also, aside from the relationship, to make sure that, the finances stay within the company and within the thing. What's your secret, at least, or what's your method, I guess, to make sure that everything stays healthy, but you get enough for you guys to enjoy life, to at least charge to Charlotte Tilbury and the company, whatever.
Company charge by the way. So
It's R&D.
I would not allow that for personal use. I would tell her, just cook it up in the kitchen, babe. Where are you gonna buy that?
But what's your method for that?
No, having really a simple life. We don't, anong tawag din?
But we having a simple life.
Because we
Define a simple life. What is a simple life for you guys?
we live within our means.
Okay.
We only have a
No Porsches, no Audis,
No,
not even.
those,
I
none of
mean,
those.
oh my God, look at my face. Hello.
Porsche.
I don't
Audi.
need. I don't need an Audi for this.
yeah.
I don't need a Porsche to go with this. Excuse me. I'm kidding. But it's just really living simply, and we just allocate a certain amount as our salary, and we live with that. We stick with that. We live with that. That's our budget. Let's not go over it.
Well, so fortunately, with the owners right now are just within the family. My father, my brothers, Teresa and I, and so we keep our lives simple. So as of the investors, they're really looking at their equity growth.
Of course.
So having more valuation in the equity.
Right.
So they're not looking at dividends. They want to keep growing the business. So that's I'm thankful for our owners.
Right.
They
play the long game.
The owners and operators. My brother, the COO, and we have our other working partners.
Got it.
They've all decided that they know that every peso this business is, again, I mentioned that this is very good returns in this business.
Right.
So they know that if we put it now, we can grow the business a lot more.
Absolutely.
So they are really, everybody's sacrificing, which I call it's the feast and famine. We all not really famine, but it's we starve. We control our hunger,
right?
And we keep it to just what we need, because we know we will all feast together in the end.
Absolutely.
But we have to have a discussion. We constantly have discussions. Once in a while we check in and we ask, is this still enough for you? Tell me, because it can be counterproductive already.
Got it.
And so when it comes to the point, tell me, we'll budget this. We'll increase your salary.
Sounds good.
So we hit that point. So there's that, and we know that Theresa and I, lovely that we have the same philosophies, and I think that's why we just quickly
the shared values really matter more than anything,
and that we really invest towards stuff that are productive.
Got it.
Even in life, like we only invest things that will this make me better at what we're doing right now. So we're really hyper focused. Does this increase productivity or not? This is savings for this in the future or whatever. It's always like that. And we also understand that we have to have fun once in a while, but controlled.
Be
what
responsible,
is responsible.
Not splurge.
Yep.
Not splurge.
We have kids now.
And cats too.
And cats.
Cat litter is not cheap.
That's not cheap. I think that's what's been challenging our budget.
The cat litter.
I've been buying bulk.
I know, but still.
All right, guys. Thank you again very much for having me here, and this is an amazing episode. This again is a first, because it's my first couple interview. Also, it's like it can be in Valentine's, but again, I will release this very soon. But guys, what do they need to look for in Ellana now that they need to invite people over to check out your new products and your
check us out in what's our latest store?
No, well, we have number of new stores opening, but would you like to announce?
Oh my God!
Oh,
when is this coming out? Oh my God!
Well,
this will be probably out late August.
Late August. Yes. Okay. Well, we'll be having our an event in Cosmo with Cosmo.
Oh, I know this.
Yeah.
I think my girlfriend also got invited.
Oh,
This-
yeah.
This big
Yes, yes.
thing. I
Yeah.
forgot what
It's an
it is.
SMX now, right?
Yes.
Yes, SMX.
It's gonna be an SMX
We're
now.
gonna be
So
there.
we will be there, and we're
launching
introducing
a new
something
service.
first
It's
in the
the
Philippines.
first of its kind here in the Philippines.
Any
That it's,
teaser that you can share?
You can make your own cosmetics on the spot,
Yep, yep.
Are you kidding me? That is
Yep.
crazy. I can already see my girlfriend like, what?
and that's fun.
It's fun. It's fun.
There you go. All right, so
Yeah.
look for your booth in, what's the name of the event at Cosmo
Cosmo.
Fest, was it? I forgot what it was
Something like
called.
that,
Yeah,
Cosmo.
something like that.
But
But it's an SMX.
It's an SMX. It's
We'll have that in the show notes, don't
Yeah.
worry. Okay, but we
Okay.
always have it in the show notes.
And
So check it out.
but Ronster, thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank
We
you.
enjoy this. We totally enjoy this, and
Super.
I love your advocacy.
Thank you.
And thank you for letting
No.
me be a part
More
of it.
power to you
And
guys.
I totally agree. And if you need any help, please, I
My
would like to
girlfriend will
support.
be here
I would like-
tomorrow.
Sure.
Yes, sure. I'd love to
All right,
support.
sounds
that.
good.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thank you very much for, again, being on Hustleshare. But for you guys who are listening to this, make sure that you're on our group. It's called Hustleshare Community, where we get first dibs and they even ask you, give you the chance to actually ask our future guests what if you want to know, so that you can actually be part of the conversation. But lastly, don't forget to support other podcasters in the Philippines, because by this time we've already launched our community is called Podcast Network. Go to podcastnetwork.asia and see all the top podcasters in the Philippines that you should listen to. And don't forget to message us on our chatbot at m.me/hustleshare, powered by chatbot.ph. Again, thank you very much, guys.
Okay.
Appreciate it. And again, I'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.